How's that? Am I muted over there?
Sounds good.
Cool. I think we got that sorted.
He's a ninja.
Does everyone still have HP from aid?
I'm good on HP, I think.
This was like 5 bonus HPs. I think. When did we pass it? I think we lost it after our long rest. Oh yeah, yeah.
I didn't get the long rest, so do I get to keep it?
I think
No.
it's a 24-hour period. But that's great. It's not that. That was 8 hours. Then, we didn't pass it. I think I originally counted just before the fight, and it's like, nope, right. I remember you did pass it right before our.
All right. Yeah, so last time we left off, after you guys had mist-formed your way to the temple, sneaked inside by slipping through some cracks and making some clever shapes with your misty bodies to indicate where you are and where to go to each other because you couldn't talk. Reformed yourselves inside the temple and then turned into mist again, and then reformed yourselves and then turned into mist again, I think. There was a lot of back and forth as you guys decided how to proceed. Mist form giving a lot of advantages that are hard to turn down, it turns out. So you guys indeed explored much of this, like the inner chapel of this temple complex, and just like the dormitories where the priests were would lodge, and eventually you found your way downstairs, but not before you had heard sounds of cracking stone echoing first, or coming to you first from outside the temple, but then seemingly echoing from underneath where you were as well. And indeed, as you eventually mist formed your way down to the bottom level of this place, you did find this sort of star-shaped chamber, and the far end of which you witnessed the collapse of the ceiling as the horrific creature, this amalgamation of bodies, had broken through the ceiling, the earth, where the like amphitheater above at the entrance to the temple was located. This thing seems to have broken through down into the temple where you guys were. So you guys didn't have as much time before that as you may have liked to kind of explore and figure out what was going on down there. And then you slipped past it, just without it catching you, but that amalgamation did seem to notice you, at least your passing, and heads began to broil out of the body to speak to the darkness and the air around it, speaking, "Where are you? Where are you? We know you're there." But you guys flew past and up and out, only to find Cormac with 5 bowing forms of the recently slain party of heroes kneeling before him, and him with some, again, seemingly shining or being illuminated by a ray of light, nods grimly and says that, "All right then, I know what I have to do." And that's where we left off. In this moment, with the sound of the careening monstrosity below you all, and this strange agreement or ritual or whatever the hell's going on between Cormac and these undead is happening. Is there anything that you guys would like to do at this moment?
Are we still in this form? Are we?
You guys remained in mist form. Yep.
I want to get close to Cormicorn.
You want to get closer to Cormac?
Yeah, I want to go up and spy on him. Spy closely.
Yeah. Go ahead and give me a stealth check. How close are you talking? Remember, you are not invisible any longer, so you are a visible cloud of floating mist that's moving in very unnatural ways. So you're not unnoticeable at this time.
And this is just like a big open field. There's no like, fuck it. I'm gonna get closer. Cormac never wanted to murder me,
What'd you say?
but I'll try to be stealthy about it. But he's never shown me aggression, so I'll get within like 20 feet.
Cormac is a man that seems like he trusts Smiths. You got that vibe.
Pretty pro mist, yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
pissed.
Go and give me a stealth check. And also,
26.
it has. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that later when it makes more sense. We're not describing mist. 26. Yeah, you kind of just like float down on a low to the ground, keeping the shadows, and you look like just unless somebody was keeping a close eye on you, they would just think like, oh, a little patch of late morning fog that's lingering here strangely. What more interesting things happening in this environment right now than a little patch of mist. Um, and at this time, Cormac doesn't seem to notice you. But he's not the only one there. You slide silently through the air closer to Cormac. Seem to have gone unnoticed. The bowing forms of these dead heroes still prostrate before Cormac are not looking closely at their surroundings. What do you want to do? What are you trying to assess here?
Wait, are they actually alive? I want to see what's going on. See if. Are they moving?
Indeed, they are. Well, not in this moment, as they are once again like kneeling before Cormac, stationary. But they're not on this. Like you saw them before, standing when you guys first arrived. They were standing surrounding the like lower central area of the amphitheater, uh,
Okay.
surrounding the growing amalgamation of bodies. So you've seen them animate, if not particularly active.
Okay. I just want to be close so I can follow him very closely. So if he does something silly, I can take a minute to not be misty and then kill him.
Yeah, keep in mind it takes one full minute to transform from mist to physical form. So that's a lot of time when we get into initiative and stuff.
Mark, are you able to describe where these 5 undead are?
This can be Cormac, kind of like up at the top here, and then we're going to have more appropriate ones later, but out. They're all like below, kind of in a semicircle around, kneeling there. And you guys, like this whole central area is broken. This is where that monstrosity cracked through. And you guys are kind of like floating around in this area as you guys came up through that crack and kind of got out into this space.
Do we like see any other like zombies or anything wandering in the amphitheater, or just
Yeah, you guys would have gotten the elevation too, so you'd be able to see farther around. Um, you remember that there were, people that had been on like a pilgrimage, seemingly to this temple to throw themselves and their companions into the monstrosity, adding to the amalgamation. It seems that at least everyone currently, anybody that came, joined it, and you don't see any in the immediate area at this time surrounding you.
and then what's the distance between these five and then the forming to the other side? Before the
To-
temple?
To here,
Yeah,
it'll be 10, 20, 30, 40, 60, 70, 80 to where they begin.
okay.
Um,
Wait, what's the spell that was used to turn us all into mist?
For days?
mhm.
I will tell you.
Use is a
Windwalk.
Windwalk?
Correct.
Mm. Carly, why don't you give me a stealth check?
Uh,
7. Mallory, as you are amidst closest, you're the first one to see a familiar form creeping from the woods past Cormac, away from the temple doors. They wearing some like traveling cloak and gear over recognizable vestments. hmm You see Sarah creeping through the woods just beyond this clearing. And you see her falling into a trap before she sees it. Not a trap, but making a terrible mistake as her focus is so intent on these gathered undead, like seeing what's going on up there. Some of the pilgrims, well, not all of their bodies made it. And she's about to trip over a removed arm that is on the path ahead of her, just with this like awkward crook. Is there anything you'd like to do before this occurs?
How did she find us? um, I feel obligated to fly over there very fast in my misty form with my incredibly fast speed and swirl around her head.
Okay. Give me an initiative roll. Carly,
Initiative?
you'll be rolling this with advantage. Yeah.
I'm not trying to hurt her. I'm trying to warn her that
I
she's making a
understand what you're trying
mistake.
to do. This is just the unfortunate reality of letting the dice determine sometimes the order of events here.
I don't like when that happens.
I know you want a bad roll.
I rolled a 17.
17. Also, you give me a perception check as you came into this space. Well, not enough to beat the stealth of this, this creeping mist before it sprang into action. And you go, you're like creeping forward, you're like just about to duck behind a tree, and as you are like making the last like quick dash from piece of cover to another, the arm that is just like left here just like fell off the wagon or got clipped and just like pinched off by the wheel or something. Still remaining here gets caught between your legs, and you just like begin to like trip and begin falling right into the place you were going for. Give me a dexterity saving throw. 15. You fall to the ground and quickly just like shuffle right into like this little like nook between these roots separate us reaching out from this tree. You are hidden, you think, at least for the moment, as Cormac and his servants hear something and look in that direction. They don't see you, but they do see a cloud of mist darting
Impossible.
across the open space behind them, and like beginning like just swirls back around the tree out of sight. And they wordlessly, the undead servants of Cormac spring into action, alert that something is amiss.
There's no way they could see my misty form, Mark. It's
Something is
so
amiss.
stealthy.
What'd you say, Joel?
It's so stealthy. There's no way they could see it.
So you have this moment, Mallory, where you are swirling around Sarah, hidden, at least blocked from sight for this moment. Are you trying to? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to communicate in this moment before things might get worse?
That I am not simply missed, and that they should probably follow me and not try to kill me.
Yeah, brilliant. Give me. What do you think? Performance check as a mist.
I'm so good
And
at those.
what'd you say? I should get my earbuds so I can. So good at those. Yeah. I think I'll go grab that real quick. Yeah. Do that.
I was sticking in the back, and I thought it was like a rabbit that was like poking his head out, and he had like a green shirt on. Pants. Yeah. Expose yourself. The book's tells.
I do. Are they not on that thing? Oh, that's not bad. Yeah. Joel, did you give me that roll?
I rolled a 9 because I'm so good at performing.
Not ideal. So give me an insight check, please, Sarah. And since yeah, we'll do that with disadvantage because of that 9. Yeah. Say that's, close enough to get at least some general information. You definitely know this is not a natural miss. And it doesn't seem to mean you any harm. Yes, absolutely. You-
I'm 2 for 2 so far, or 2 for like 4. I'm doing great.
Sorry, I'm just trying to get this thing set up. So, um, I've like never used Discord on my phone, so you don't like it?
No.
Output. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's all of the one. Yeah, it's all of the stuff. All the ones marked. Yeah. You can mark it here. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, talk to me.
Hey,
Hey, I can hear you.
sweet.
Dude.
Everyone else is really muffled. I can't really hear what anybody else is saying outside of
Oh,
Mark.
are you? Yeah.
I had my account muted, so I can unmute it, and hopefully there isn't too much like echo for you guys.
It's not terrible.
Mark, say something.
I will. I was just going to.
It's great. It's perfect.
Cool. Okay. I won't do anything else. We'll just keep playing the game. Oh, jeez. Okay. So yeah, I think at this point, Sarah knows that she's being a mist is communicating with her in a interesting way. Unclear exactly what's going on, but yeah, you have this moment where you know you've been spotted. You hear the movement of them like shifting around and their sudden turn as you trip. But yeah, what would you like to do here? I think you've already kind of like jumped and dashed into like a nice hiding spot, but you know that if you were to go from here, since you've already kind of drawn their attention in your direction, there it would be tough to without you can definitely try. There's definitely like some overgrown brush and stuff around, but it'll be tough. Yeah, really just kind of throwing you into this right now.
It's okay. I was gonna look at it before we started playing, and then I just I'll do protective bond on the mist that is by me, I think. If I can. Hang on, looking at how that actually works.
It'll help you share damage with the target, which I think you're in a lot more danger than a mist right now.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. I'm just gonna do the shield, and I'm gonna blow up my crossbow and be ready to shoot if somebody needs threatening things at me.
Yeah, fair enough. You can also just like prepare a word of radiance, which might do a little more reliable damage than a crossbow shot.
Okay, I'll do that. Word of radiance. Okay, I like that idea.
Awesome. So Mallory, you circle around Sara for a moment. They seem to understand that you're not trying to mean them any harm, and Sara's preparing to deal with whatever happens as the approach of these former heroes or adventurers. The rest of you, being in mist forms surrounding this space, you guys have not been identified yet, have incredible speed still, and a moment here to, not so much you can do as direct intervention as mist per se, but is there anything you guys like to try and do? Mm-hmm.
Did we see Mallory, or we wouldn't know it's Mallory? Did we see Stealth Mist like take off?
I think so. You guys kind of all came up together and were kind of like assessing the situation, and I would imagine like at least somewhat aware of each other, and saw one of your mists dart out.
Well, you guys gonna make the arrow pointing down and then a question mark symbol? And can you? So we've seen this whole thing play out, but have we actually? Does it look like this crew is moving to investigate, or is it kind of like a that's weird sort of moment?
Yeah, they're all reacting to the noise. Some of them are like immediately moving in that direction. Others are kind of like just assessing the area to make sure there aren't any other like weird things going on. These are certainly not level 10 adventurers, but during their lives they were at least somewhat competent, and it seems that competency has stuck with them to some degree with their death. They are looking around, trying to gauge if there are any other threats, while some of them look to be advancing towards the sound.
I'm going to make the shape of an arrow kind of pointed at this direction, towards kind of where one of the mist forms took off to. I have no idea why that mist took off that direction. Which one of us it is? Yeah, or who it is, but I know that my crew wouldn't insert themselves into danger unless there was something that they were protecting or something that needed to kind of risk exposure. So I'm going to kind of dash, try to dash around this area. I really don't want to draw attention, so I'm looking for like, how close to the ground can I get as in this form?
You can ride the ground. You can be just a couple inches of mist.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Awesome.
Yeah. So my goal is to kind of get somewhere over in this area to try to help out my missed friend, whoever it may be. It's Mallory. That's all of us. It's a classic Mallory move.
With dash, you can go 300. Is it 300 with dash or just per round already?
The only actions you can take are like dash or reform.
300
is
300 feet's the movement. Yeah.
Yeah. But sorry, it's still not clarified for me. I must not.
Dash is 600 feet.
Okay, so 300's base, and then dash gives you another. Great, awesome. Thank you. That movement, I think this is again just amazing. And yeah, you more than enough movement to even like take it and like not even at full speed, is like keeping low, keeping relatively stealthy. They are, however, looking out for danger. So go ahead and make a stealth move for me.
I think you guys following, seeing whatever
Okay.
distance going in that direction.
It's 10.
Mm-hmm. Since we're not, yeah, just go and do it with advantage as missed here.
So 16.
Jared.
I will. So I see the group of former adventurers moving towards where Mallory went.
Yeah, it seems like Mallory the Mist went out ahead, past the undead and Cormac, or behind them, and yeah, at least some of them are moving in that direction right now, and they've all been alerted to some sound coming from that direction.
I will dive in front of the person in the lead, and I'll shape myself into the densest, most compact form that I can, and just gyrate in front of them, taking the form of a little skull if I can.
Yes, absolutely. Give me a performance check there, or intimidation if you prefer.
We'll go with either way. I'm just terrible, so we'll just see. That'll be a 4 for a performance.
Love that. We're going places.
You know, Mist is not the most intimidating cloud. As they, get a little bit chilly, a little bit moist, clammy from your presence. But they just like one of them just like swats through it, and then Cormac says, calls out and says, "Whoever you are, I doubt we're at opposed objectives. If you've come here like you wish cleanse the darkness. Step forth and be witnessed."
I'll start making my way, still dense, slowly towards him so that he can obviously see me approaching. But I'm gonna go slow.
Yeah. Slowly mist towards him. You can see that there is in his like the way he's standing and looking out, there's an expectation, as if perhaps you were not the only person that he was talking to, seeing that they heard this sound come from behind them, or like in the direction of Sara, and then see this mist come from the other direction. They know that you are not the only party active in this moment. And even as you approach, you can see Cormac nods to the mist, and then but continues to look out as if like in Sara's rough direction, expecting another reply.
I will have Helmet also approach me as from elsewhere.
And Helmet's missed too, right?
Yeah, I'm assuming because the spell allows for 10 creatures. If it was a different one, I would have asked.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. It was just that Helmet didn't get the invisibility on him, but did get the mist form. Awesome.
Yeah.
So your Helmet is a misty shape moving towards you. Go ahead and give me a history check. Sorry. You do not. You've not met Cormac. You don't. It's not somebody that you've come across or heard reference to. Yeah.
In that case, I will. Can you tell me anything about how bold Sarah's been before?
Yeah. So Sarah's bold enough to have tricked the party a little bit with she gave them a little magic stone that would help them communicate to her if they needed assistance after having offered her services to join them in this adventure. And then yeah, like also enchanted it so that it would block scrying. So she's, not afraid of, just, mixing up a little bit in that way, but she's, I don't think she's expressed herself as, like she has seemed pretty calm and like, I don't know. Yeah. Like there haven't been too many interactions that they've had with her that would call her to act heroically. So
Yeah, I'll just step out. I'm gonna stand up, put my hands up, still ready for the word with radiance, but
you have this like little bit of like faint radiant glow on one of your.
Slight glow in the palm that shows in the shadows of the trees, like sort of. Do we fight for the same side? Or are we opposed?
Cormac nods to you and says, "Thank you for showing yourself. I do not know the answer to that because I do not know for whom you fight. But know that despite the appearance of these protectors of mine, my only aim is to cleanse death from this world." Looks at the like this like undead adventurers like wearing this like chain armor that has like a few holes in it and stuff, and like half their jaws just kind of like missing and hanging out, and there's like this putrefying flesh there. And he says, "You speak truth. I think I mean to say the plague of this unnatural death that stalks the world, even here, this undeath."
Very mild nod. That's a weird choice.
Can I be flying around her head a bunch and like thumbs downing and just being obnoxious while she's having this conversation? Because
I don't see what would stop you.
I'm gonna do that. Just all around, just be like thumbs down, warning, no.
Cormac says, "Seem to have some mysterious companions of your own here. To care," and looks at like the mist forms that he can see, and say, "Do all the rest of you care to speak face to face?"
Say that I have opinions as I came here by myself. But I suppose I'm curious too about this, and I like spell with this through my face a little bit.
I'll take a minute to not be misty.
I did not like Sarah when we met.
I didn't either. But there's something about her now. It's trustworthy.
Something more organic and
Just
human about her.
something about standing in front of an undead amphitheater. It really just breeds trust. I'm way more comforted now.
Well, Mallory talked to her last episode anyways, and reached out to her, and she didn't seem as threatening.
Right in my ear.
I will also begin apparating with helmet as well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Johan is as well.
Say anything else. Yeah, we'll do the same.
Okay.
Back to the party.
Yep.
So I think for oh man, what are your characters' names again? GI and Johan. I think for GI and Johan, you have the option here of even if you want to reform, you might be able to do so stealthily and hidden, because they don't seem to have seen either of you yet directly. Would either of you like to attempt that?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Advantage or regular?
Yeah, go and just give me a stealth check with yeah, we'll do with advantage.
10.
16.
My man, GI. You and that fetus, you got this.
Ah, yes.
The brain joke.
Yeah.
And so, perfect. Now we have an organic moment for this. As these several forms of like swirling mist begin to like slowly like condense themselves into more and more like recognizable humanoid-esque shapes. The one stands out as a little extra weird. You begin to be able to see the features and characteristics of these people with you know whom Sarah has had a brief interaction with, which she didn't seem to have impressed. But why don't you all describe your characters as you start beginning to reform? And for you two are hidden. We'll just do this now as opposed to when Sarah sees you again, because you've already been seen.
So this little like robot guy.
Yeah.
He's got three kind of barrels stacked on top of each other. One of them has like a bunch of different like lenses and stuff on it. The other one is a brain in a jar and it's shot by an arrow. Leaks out of it. There's also a canister with a fetus in a canister like kind of hooked up wires to it. And kind of floating there.
Interesting.
There is like a head that's on a spring on top. And
It's a little bobblehead.
yeah, a little like completely dead plastic image of his eyes and mouth. And he's got a little croc mouth. And he moves in a very odd way, but that seems pretty normal for a thing.
Did you say crocodile?
Yeah.
It relates itself a little bit.
It's your standard crunk knife.
As my character would look very familiar to you if you have been in Skofia. You would have seen him on banned posters for Empire of Anarchy. He's a half elf bard. Blue is not the front man of the bard of the band of the group.
Someday.
Kind of very pale blonde hair, really dark armor, looks to be like heavy armor. Yeah, that's Jan. There's a little bit of some kind of Swedish death metal inspired kind of details with what he's wearing.
How about Mallory and oh god,
Mallory and
Solidarity Fireheart.
Mallory starts to form, and you see the blackest of black feathers wrapped in black robes, and a black beak staring at you. Mm-hmm. Deeper and deeper into the woods, for the gods!
You see a heavily armored tiefling appear, and standing next to him, the armor is what looks to be a mechanical boar, about standing about this. It's about the size of a dog, and the tiefling is wearing very ornate armor. Looks to be a lot of it custom made. Is wielding what looks to be kind of a slightly improved, wielding a warhammer that looks like a slightly improved like sledgehammer, and is carrying a pair of tongs in his other hand. Also very ornate. Looks to be almost possibly a magical focus of some kind. And nods at you, recognizing you from before, and yeah.
Kind of give a nod back. Some folks I haven't encountered. Seems like our paths are crossing again.
Seems to be.
Cormac, beginning to recognize you, the reforming figures as you do, begins looking around. Seem to be missing some of your friends. Did they fall on the journey here?
Yes, unfortunately.
Give me a deception check.
Big money, no whammies.
So am I able to inspire solidarity's check here out of curiosity?
Can you tell me how you're doing that with silence, being a bard, and from a distance?
Yeah.
I have leftover inspiration from earlier.
True.
How does that work, Mark? I forget.
Which is it, bardic inspiration or DM's
No, it's
inspiration?
just a plain inspiration from my stupid ass speech at the beginning.
His speech is so good though. So I'm sorry. So it's from a speech effect.
I did a poorly timed inspirational speech when we were first accepting the job, and you gave me an inspiration.
Oh yeah, so it's a DM, granted inspiration. Cool. Yeah, that'll give you. You can just use that to re-roll a die.
Oh my god! Yeah, thank God. Oh my God! It's an 8.
You see a slight frown sour Cormac's face, and looks at you. He says, "Dishonesty doesn't suit you, my friend. It's the first time you've proven yourselves less than honorable. Though, looking again at his companions, I can understand why you might be suspicious. I welcome," and he kind of like raises his voice to reach out into the area beyond. He says, "I welcome all of you to come out. I trust your intent here. And while I am convinced by these that our goals align, I understand that you may not be. I welcome your assistance in ensuring that their words are as true as mine to you now." I mean none of you any harm. And if these 5 have deceived me, looks at each of them, I welcome you all in aiding me in their destruction. So
Solidarity gives no indication that she's looking around for.
any change from GI or Johan? Okay. Yeah.
Even I can tell that was a bad lie.
Sarah very like obviously looks around.
As well.
I mean, she doesn't know they not. She probably doesn't think they did.
He says, remain hidden if you must, but my words remain true. I'm sure you all have many questions. Come, let us speak. And he just kind of like nods at the undead heroes or adventurers, and they variously, sheathe their blades, put down or like put at rest their arcane foci, etc. They seem to be standing down from any hostilities. And you can hear the ground or feel the ground shake a little and hear the like crumbling as like some more like debris falls down from this lower amphitheater down to the structures beneath as that horrific abomination continues to writhe and move around in whatever space below. Seems to have shaken a little bit more debris loose. What would you guys like to do? These 5 return to kind of their position. They kind of like stay in a group over here, giving you guys, some space. Cormac steps, away from them to, speak to you guys if you would like to, a little bit farther away from them, but open to, whatever approach, seemingly that you all make.
Like a little cautiously, but like step forward, like kind of being aware. What is it that you're doing here? You said your name was
Cormac, I've heard your name. I've heard you've done good works.
and you. What have you done?
Up until recently, very little. But it seems Lathander has a plan for me. I told, keep looking at you guys because you're the ones here, but you're both hidden. Just be looking at Joel and Jared, but he says, when the darkness came to my community and the people I had known and lived with for some years began carving words into their flesh, speaking and muttering in languages obscene and dark, I fled. And I came across a burial site of one of Lathander's heroes, chosen one of some kind from long ago. I stumbled upon that place, and It was meant to be. I was brought there, I think. And I can see them shift a little bit uncomfortably in the armor that you see that looks weathered and ancient, but at least at the time it was entombed, was in pretty good shape. But years have, and just exposure to the air have taken their toll on this suit, this set of armor. There's like a chain and a few like shoulder pads and a few more more chunks of metal like covering some places. Mostly this like chain with this like ragged like tabard over it. You notice like the shield has what looks to be like a star or like a sunrise, like a sun like shining rays into the sky above. Says I fell upon this, and I think I was brought there by Lathander. I have been given a purpose, I think. I thought it was merely to cleanse the evil from this place, from this forest, and save the people of Skofia from its influence. But this place, it's meant for something more. Have you all? Have any of you? It looks at the the two of you that are not here, and says, "Did you venture inside?
Yeah.
What did you find?"
Cheers! Lots of chairs.
We found many things, but primarily we found that abomination writhing in the pit over there.
And signs of Lathander.
And signs of Lathander. I'm the worst person to be answering these questions.
And other gods. There were multi-gods. But not the normal ones.
Says, Cormac nods and says, "From what I understand, this place is connected to something that has the power to once and for all rid the world of the threat of undeath, burn away the last wretched, lingering elements of Orcus's grip upon the world."
The sublime radiance?
Yes.
Yes. Are we sure? How do you feel this is going to happen?
It will not be easy, but I will go forth, bind each of the four necrarchs to my service. We will wash over the city Loomis, defeating the monstrosities that reign over that place. We will use Orcus's weapon against him and all his followers.
Who?
What was that?
What was there I know about Loomis and those that
Yeah.
live there?
Give me a history or religion check. 21. You. Mm-hmm. You remember speaking to one of your mentor, the person that got you involved in your little group within the Church of the Five Divines. You remember have this like flashback to Ezra Falstrom giving you a impassioned reading of what was it? Yeah, you have this memory of Ezra Falstrom giving you this like impassioned reading from one of the epistles of Saint Sylvia Albright. The martyred saint. The one that whose letters back from the Crusades, some, more than 150, 200 years ago or more, those epistles are the foundation of your group. And you remember, like, in this one, there's this talk that, like, Sylvia says that, which is a mild heresy, that they have so much to learn from the faithful outside the Imperium, that there is knowledge that has been lost to us, knowledge of the darkened lands far in the Far East, the source of the evil, and that the city of Loomis is there's this like talk about the city of Loomis like being like either like a city of light on a hill, or also simultaneously like the source of the darkness that like plagues the bone waste and stuff. So like there's like these weird stories about it, and like some of that like came through in some of those epistles and like those letters back home.
Like spiritually significant in a good or bad context, depending on
Yeah.
how you interpret it.
Mm-hmm.
Have I heard the term necrarch?
I don't think any of these characters have heard that word.
No. Yeah, so we would be unfamiliar with this legend as well.
Yeah, I think you guys have already, I think, made some of similar roles. I can't remember all the ones that you guys have made. But if any of you guys are proficient in history or religion, I'd say I'd welcome another role from you on this subject.
I have expertise in history.
Go for it. Yeah.
Is that with advantage? How does that work?
That just gives you twice your proficiency bonus to the roll. Yeah. Sure. Getting chilly?
So twice my bonus with the roll?
Yeah. So, yeah, it's usually like calculates it on the sheet for you. You've got a +8, and you have a +4 to intelligence, or what? Yeah, what's your intelligence modifier?
It's there.
Well, that's your saving throw. Yeah, I guess it would be 10 either way. So yeah, 10. So, and you're just go up. Oops, other way. Yeah, so it's already doubling that. So the +8 is coming from that
Okay, so
expertise.
24.
What was the total? Sorry.
24.
24. You, as an avid collector of stories and legends in any and all material you can use for, lyrics, you've heard some of these stories as well. Like they're you've heard more of these stories from like people even farther east from Skofia, like people that you've talked to from like the Untamed Lands and stuff, and even some people like from beyond. Yeah, you've heard, I think from a historic perspective, you'd have heard that Loomis is one of like the ancient cities. Like one of the ones that was around before, like the collapse of civilization, like the gods leaving the world and like history, like this dark period of history and stuff. Loomis is ancient and significant, and you know that it's always had it's always that role in history. I'll say that you've heard of it because, or in the context of, it was built for a purpose. Like many cities, are built just because, like, oh, people started, gathering here, and trade was good, and whatever else, like, whatever. This place was built for a purpose. Like the gods built it, or you've heard different stories, like gods built their city on Earth or whatever. But like others, it's like, oh, after the gods had fled, like this was an attempt to like build heaven on Earth. Like there's all these weird things like that. But this was like an intentionally like built and placed city that had some purpose outside of just people gathering and living there.
Nice. Love it.
Yeah, I got a 9 on mine, so I don't.
Yeah, you're like, Lumu? Never heard of it.
Yeah, right.
After seeing the symbol of the sublime radiance with its 5 rays down in the temple, does it look more like his shield than Lathander?
Not sure I understand the question.
Is his shield the shield of the sublime radiance and not really a shield of Lathander? Because before we found out like the symbol was different on his shield, but I don't think I knew.
Yeah, on the main doors to the temple is like the symbol of Lathander, like with the sun and its zenith with rays shining down. The symbols that you've seen inside the temple, there's more of a sun or a star not positioned on a horizon, but you can just see it like the floor below that monstrosity like crashed into. That like whole floor plan was like basically like these long tunnels radiating out from a central point. There isn't like a it's at the bottom or the top per se from what you've seen on the inside of the temple. But each time you've seen in this place, specifically like on the front doors and any of the other like odds and ends that you found while you were searching around inside, any direct reference to Lathander was always a sun at its zenith with rays shining down.
Yeah. So is that what McCormick's shield looks like though? It doesn't look like
inverted with the sun at the bottom of
Oh,
his point with
okay.
rays shining up. Yeah.
So that's okay.
Idiot got his shield upside down.
This shape of shield is it possible?
He's just always like awkwardly holding this thing. It seems he is holding it correctly. Yeah, we had so many checks and talking there. I forgot where in the actual story, like what was going on. So I think Cormac had just said some things about the purpose of this place.
Yeah, he said he was gonna. Who are these Necrocs, and what? Why have you been tasked to do this? It seems like a lot of power for one person.
Especially someone who just happened upon a calling, supposedly.
He kind of chuckles and he says, "This is not what I would have chosen for myself. I did not ask for this purpose. But I think that there comes a time when you cannot turn away from the evil in the world. And after I've seen what it is capable of, it's clear that no one anywhere is safe. I wish this burden didn't fall to me, and I would happily pass it along to someone else, but I don't think that is what Lathander has willed. Maybe it's precisely because I never wanted this sort of purpose or power that I don't know. But I would not be the first, like looks to you, Sarah, the first person that the gods have called to a greater purpose than they intended, I think.
Ours gives them a long look. The five look to secure the wellness of those who follow them. Possible that are actually aligned. She's kind of holds with that. It would admit. Very obviously not.
Yeah. Well, I will not make any demands of you in this moment, and we can certainly talk further. But my intent here today is to travel forth from this place and begin gathering forces to take Loomis and use it to once and for all claim this world for the living.
Should we not start with cleansing this place?
We'll be done. As after the temple sends me forth from this place, I believe it will, part of that process, part of the radiant energy expended will cleanse this place as well. My servants here, well, I haven't asked them, will you be joining me through the portal? And they turn, they look wordlessly, and they just like all kind of like just a brief, like subtlest like shake nod or shake of their head no. Well, this place, the sublime radiance, it, it will cleanse them as well if they remain behind. One of them says, like this, the warrior, like the fighter guy in the chain armor that you saw, like missing part of his jaw. You hear this like raspy voice. It says, "Our service will be complete. We will return to the quiet."
This is the struggles for
Fair.
Can you remind me of? I know can you remind me of the other gods and other domains?
Yeah, maybe remind myself as well.
Thinking about the alignment.
Yeah, there's Tyr is not one of the five divines.
Oh.
You have Azith, Helm, Ilmater, Kelenvor, and Savras. Azith, Helm, Ilmater, Kelenvor, Savras.
Have I ever heard of any instances of undead assisting in a noble mission?
uh, give me a history check or religion, I suppose.
I'm gonna use my flash of genius to bump that to a 22.
22. You have never heard of any undead like individually or like choosing a noble path, because like fundamentally, you know that you've heard or understand that undead don't really have that kind of will for the most part, to make that sort of like choice. They are like typically like bound and constrained by this like evil that is animating them. So yeah, no, you are not familiar with any instances of undead like choosing a noble path. You With that roll though, you do know that there are like undead have at times like had shared enemies with like living people. Like there are other things that like so-called civilized humanoids or whatever like wouldn't be a huge fan of, that might also hate undead. So there's like some like overlap of enemies in some cases, but you've never heard of, like I said, undead like picking a noble path or choosing righteousness and sacrifice and things like that.
Okay. Seems out of the norm for me to observe a servant of Lathander being flanked by recently deceased combatants on the side of recently deceased combatants who had interceded on the behalf of the people around here. So forgive my reticence in giving you the benefit of the doubt.
Not for the gods!
Cormac says it isn't entirely understandable, and I have no ill will towards you for that reasonable doubt. But I ask from you only that you might hold your weapons long enough to see the results. And again, if I have been deceived, strike them down and myself as well if I pose you any threat. Do you need a blanket, Pesha? You do. Take whatever time you need to discuss. We will go below and begin making preparations.
There's a monster down there.
It served its purpose as well, gaining us access to the
Wait,
temple.
that thing's with you?
It serves the same purpose as my 5 guardians here.
Oh, no. I grab onto my bow and arrow very tightly.
In which
Look over at
case
Solidarity.
you ally with these creatures who have this infernal writing all over them, indicating ill intent. It's demonic. It is not of the gods.
I never said they were, but they do share a goal at this moment. And they labor towards their own destruction.
I don't
What
believe you.
is- I understand. Speak amongst yourselves. And if we must seek conflict, I would also offer you this. They are here to see this objective completed. See faithful servant be sent forth to do what they cannot. A faithful servant of the gods. And that is my role here. I can accomplish that goal with or without these creatures, monstrous as they are. Take your minutes or time to speak with each other, and if you decide that you must destroy them, consider that you may yet allow me to finish my goal, even with the destruction of these. Though I'm not sure, it looks at the undead. They just kind of like, they stand like steadfast. I'm not sure if they will simply allow themselves to be destroyed before their objective is accomplished, and I am sent forth to bind the necrarchs to the divine will and purpose. But I will not intervene to prevent their destruction, for they are creatures of evil.
Sorry, like visibly relaxes a little bit, like he like acknowledges their evil. Feels a little better about everything.
He says, there was a great evil that spoke undeath into this world. And those words were bound and sealed away, but they have been released upon the world again. This will keep happening until the undeath and this darkness is swept away from the world altogether. That is why I am here. To prevent all this horror from happening again and again and again across the world.
Let us examine your shield and discuss. Come, bring it.
Yeah, you want to bring him away from the. What are you trying to do here?
Well, trying to get the shield. Him coming is cool and all. I really just want the shield.
There's,
I just figured he wouldn't give it up.
yeah, he says, till you've determined to aid me or not, I don't feel I can give up these holy implements.
Then come and sit and let us examine it.
We should follow him.
No, we should sit here and examine it for moments.
Says, Cormac says, you have already seen my shield.
Yes, but we were interrupted and we didn't get to really see it, so now's the time. You promised.
Give me a persuasion check.
11.
And are you genuinely? You're not. Yeah. He he doesn't trust you enough to part with this at this time. He says, "Sorry, I must go below and begin preparations. This divine purpose cannot be delayed. It will take some time. I welcome or I invite you to come below when you have come to a decision how you would like to proceed."
If he asks for our help, I don't see any reason why we shouldn't give it. After all, his purpose is divine. We should follow
Did
and
you
ensure that
see
it's
the
complete.
monster?
I think at this point, Cormac just gives the three of you and Helmet a one last kind of just like look, just like straight in the eyes, making contact with each of you, and then says, "I hope we can see eye to eye on this, and at the very least, see that my intentions are pure here." And he heads down, climbing down the collapsed lower stage of the amphitheater into the bowels of the temple below, leaving you guys to discuss. How do you guys feel about a quick break?
Yeah, sounds
Go Braves.
good.
Well, and like,
Just yeah.
but I could come in. We're doing band-aid.
Yeah. Like go.
Also, things I want to ask you about. But
Hold on. The gods. Yeah. All right. So there's for the 5. Azeth. Azeth. Kellenborn. Yeah. And then there's the Sublime Radiance, which is an alliance of 5 gods who have relationships with sun, light, life, truth, in rebirth domain. And those gods that we know of in that alliance were Kosith, Mater, Helm, Lathander, and Soon. Yeah, we all grew up together. Oh, nice.
ammo, so great. It's like a tiny bit left.
I know about these strawberries. Strawberries.
They're like, oh yeah, check the mic out. And now we can play again just a little bit. It's a good motivator to get out. I also there's a movie shop right outside of the house. Yeah, Peter.
It's actually kind of ironic and convenient because it's like a outfit or something, and it's old. Battle of Peaceful. Bust those open. There's more crackers too.
Most of the thing of having a bag full of bacon in the freezer is the other half bag full of bacon in the freezer. Leave that bacon in the freezer. You read it off? You read it off real quick? No. Oh, it's 5.
I could. It actually might have been a little faster to go home.
Doc was like, this is down the street.
Yeah.
You know, once you want to keep like their dog pets, and also we can take a patient to that dog park down. Literally,
Yeah.
before she turned into a monster.
Horse became a servant of horses.
Yes.
Like
It reminds me of Flintstone Google.
very
Might be the like combination of vinegar, weed smoking them, not like some weird combos, but like there's somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. My face is freaking out right now.
Yeah.
Should you want to treat? Finish off with oh boy. Patient. Take it. Yeah, cheers. Thanksgiving.
Don't even think about it. Yeah, I can hear you thinking about it. It makes a sound. Everyone back online.
I think
I'm here.
I'm present.
how you feeling, Joel?
Sore and painful, but okay. My back hurt.
Right then. So, we will resume with Cormac and his escort heading down through the cracked earth at the bottom of the amphitheater into the temple below, leaving you all to discuss amongst yourselves what next step. And if you need to kill this spy, the 5 Defiance that just showed up, haven't followed you. Yeah, so you have the 3 of you plus Helmet, kind of all assembled pretty nearby each other, and 2 of your remaining party members still sneaking around out there in beyond the trees.
Staying perfectly still.
So with that, Cormac passes down beneath the earth, last with his escort follows him, and you are all here seemingly alone. Well, further nearby undead or weird shit going on. There is still an expansive silence, quietness in this place as evil is cast its pall over this area, it's quieted all signs of life, and a somewhat oppressive silence falls over this temple area and this room. You all are seemingly
I lean over to GI and just kind of whisper. Do you think we should approach the party, or do you think we should maintain being hidden for the time being?
Whisper mode activated.
Here's the whisper mode activated for the bushes. Kind of rolls her eyes.
All right, sounds good. I've got I can cast invisibility on both of us if we want to stay hidden. All right, sounds good. What? Do me a favor. Can you keep whisper mode on for just a bit? Okay. Perfect.
default mode.
Mark, you want any jerky before it's gone?
Ravana gets up to the edge and like down in this chasm. He gets down there.
Yeah, there's like anything like looks where like it looks to be like this this monstrosity that we'll say that you didn't see but whatever like something here or heard being referred to a little bit here something seems to have just like
ripped and torn through the very like rock and earth itself. You see that there are like, you like look down, there's like all this like debris and rubble everywhere, but also like chunks of like bone and like fingernails and like flesh that just got ground through in the process of breaking through the earth. It is pretty gross, but through all that, you know, the debris and destruction, you see that there is a collapsed bit of earth down there. I think it's 3-ish feet down there. There's the debris is like landed on a, you know, like a tunnel or some room that is growing wider from what you can see. It looks like it's like broken down into like maybe the end of a tunnel that's like growing wider from here, going back towards the temple here.
We can barely hear you.
You can barely hear me. Oh, I was muted. Sorry. Is that better?
Slightly. Say something again.
Saying the things again.
Oh, I can only hear you through. It's only coming in through Josh's audio.
Congratulations, you muted yourself. No, now you're all muted.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you. We're just trying to get Mark's mic issue sorted out.
Okay.
Just like real life.
Yeah. Only
Okay,
we-
now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
I can
well,
hear
let's
you.
see if I can get my earpiece to work again. So I can hear you guys.
Testing,
All
testing.
right, is
1,
it
2,
still
3.
picking me up?
Testing.
Testing.
Testing. It's all
Can hear
testing.
you.
Yeah, not a huge fan of the phone version of Discord either. It's like all the things I want to be able to do are not. Yeah. And I put the disconnect.
To like turn around to two that are there and be like, well, as I said before, I'm more interested in helping you than. But I mean, I don't know what's going on here. I'm gonna figure this out. You intend to follow this fellow?
I intend to follow. Yeah.
Affirmative. Negative. You see the brains logic. The brain starts to function.
Is it? Wait, hold that. Just Negative to which thing?
There is disorder. You must bring order.
Just what happened to whisper mode? What's going on? All right, so you want to approach the party?
I will follow.
Okay, perfect. Um, and just to be clear, the 5 undead are escorting Cormac down. Okay, so it's just okay, cool. Yeah, great. Gonna approach Sarah and our companions.
Mhm.
I guess as I approach, I recognize who this is. Well.
Sorry, I believe I asked you to stay in town and protect the people there. It is a surprise to see you.
Sorry, just like, well, I didn't travel with you, but I told you.
It's just so strange that you were able to find us. That's great. It's like, how did you manage to do that? A little trick up your sleeve, a little trinket in your pocket. I mean, how did you manage to pull that off?
Was it the coin?
I have no idea what you're talking
We were given a coin. We were given a coin. Okay.
She still says.
Yeah.
She's still gonna say.
Classic Sarah, always lying. All right.
I did call her.
Oh, you what?
I,
You called her?
I had questions.
Just really curious. Mallory, GI, and I had kind of a side bet going on. Was it you that did the mist thing around the head, or was that Solidarity?
Sneaky.
Yeah, all right. That was very sneaky. Did Mark? Did we hear? Were we close enough to hear the conversation?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Did you hear? Cormac's gone crazy.
Yeah, I.
I
Yeah,
feel
that.
we have to.
Hmm? Yeah, we ran into him. Oh, it just seems like yesterday. We met him in a small, very small community that had been murdered. There was a big pile of burnt corpses, and someone had been flayed and their skin affixed to two big posts. Um, and when we met Cormac, he was describing having found this shield and armor that he was wearing in a ruin. He had fallen to escape this onslaught in his village and had taken refuge in this ruin and had come across this armor and put it on and now is on this mission from Lathander. And we traveled with him for several hours and decided to make camp, and he pressed onwards.
So he's sort of an ally.
He didn't try to kill us, but after he left, we got ambushed by many, many undead. Had, each of us had visions, nightmares of this chained up book. And it turned into a humanoid. And it affected one of our companions, Solidarity. You woke up Solidarity feeling exhausted, right?
I did. Unfortunately, yeah, the book took human form, and it seems to have affected me quite gravely.
In your dreams.
Yes.
Give me a. I think like go and give me a roll. Yeah, I'll make that another religion check. So it was a total of 19. I think like you definitely put two and two together that like this is what or McCormick keep doing that. It's like I totally
McCormick.
remember his name, but then I damn it. Cormac Grill said that yeah, just was talking about like there was like the words of Orcus, like this power of Orcus was manifested in the world, and like then it was bound, but it has once again been like released into the world, and like that's what he said. Kind of like that last thing he said was like this sort of thing is going to happen again and again and again unless we deal with it once and for all. You don't with that roll with the 19, you don't you've heard of like Orcus, like one of these like demon lords from like ancient times. Like it's like as much a a lot of these for a lot of people these sorts of like villains and stuff are just like folk tales and stuff. Like not a lot of people, there's not a lot of like direct interaction with Orcus. So like this thing being attributed to him definitely makes sense with all the context you have and what you've heard for sure. That yeah, like there was this the words of Orcus were like bound and sealed away. Like sure, that makes sense in a way. Like that's been broken, so it's like out, and like that is a plausible explanation for what's going on here, especially for what all your your new companions have said they've heard and like seen written and stuff. This like refrain that they've come across multiple times of what was written has been written again, and like variations of that and stuff. So I think that's probably it.
I believe we should follow Cormac. And Sarah will bring a 0.35% better chance for us to succeed.
Generous.
So does that what does that bring us to GI overall?
It is a 0.666 repeating, of course.
Yeah, they are many and we are few and tired.
Say 0.666. Do you mean 0.66% or 66%?
That is what the computer is saying.
Which?
It is 0.6667 repeating, of course. The brain kind of bubbles again.
The fetus does a backflip.
I feel we should follow him. He's not to be dissuaded.
And you don't want to kill him.
I feel that might be what needs to happen, but I don't. He hasn't given away his true intentions yet. I feel he is under the sway of something else other than what he claims.
These lands are cursed. The dead roam and attack communities and people. If what Cormac is saying is true, if he's allowed to complete his ritual, then radiant damage will spill over, wipe out undeath from the area. But at what cost? We know that as a champion of Lathander, he's not bearing any of Lathander's symbols. Everything and undeath are his companions. This just doesn't seem right.
Agreed. I feel we need to find some way to remove these accoutrements from him. I feel like those are the source of the curse.
Hey, love. Patia's in the yard. Patia's in the yard.
Do we want him to complete his work and once there's hopefully radiant damage, in the area of taking care of the undead. Is that our moment to strike?
It would not hurt to observe him.
This seems risky.
Standing here is risky.
We were sent to investigate to see what happened to these dead ones.
We were also sent to cleanse the area.
Where your dead ones are. Still quite dead.
If we assist him and he is speaking the truth, then our mission is accomplished. And if we find that he is under the influence of something malevolent, then we can interfere.
More observation is
These undead companions of his, they were the ones you were following?
Yeah, they're the ones that came before us.
you recognize them. But you gave them a coin too.
Yes. Yes, the first person I ventured out. The we know they are willingly his companions. Were they awoken from his behest?
We don't know.
In my experience, the undead do not have a will of their own. And then they serve a master. They didn't follow that.
They did. Yeah, a couple of them went in before, and then a couple of them followed after, and they're all 5 of them and Cormac are down below now. Yeah, they said that he asked or talked to them about briefly about basically confirming, I think, with them like once like he is like their objective there is to get him through the portal. And once that's done, they said like they won't be traveling through with him, and that they will be, once that's happened, their mission is complete, and that they will return to the quietude. They said.
That being said, it appears they were able to choose to not enter the portal.
The relationship with him seems curious. Are they attracted to him? To the portal? Because of these things?
Sorry, I catch that, Carly.
The previous adventurers, they protected Cormac to the site and to the portal, but they won't go beyond. That's their mission. Is their mission appointed by Cormac? Or something else?
They were sent here to explore the temple that originally why they were sent out.
Yeah, those 5 adventurers have been sent out by basically the same people that sent you to look into the rumors of weird and goings on and like signs of undeath and like the weird like lights at the temple ruins. So they were kind of sent out initially just kind of like find out what the hell's going on and if there is a threat. They didn't return. There was a and then like they last saw them dead at this what appeared to be like this place, and which you've confirmed now is like they died here, it seems, or at least were brought here, and that's when they were able to scry on them again. They were here.
But we don't know what master they serve. It could be Cormac or it could be someone or something else. We just know that he and they are aligned.
Yeah.
He did not give us a deadline on when we had to answer it.
It does seem like his quest is so urgent. I imagine it'll move on eventually. Without this.
It would be difficult to observe him if we do not hurry.
Is feel first before you hear a certain like vibration in the air. First you feel it through like the earth and the stone of this like amphitheater and stuff like vibrating very faintly, and then you begin to hear this like slight like hum of energy from below. Something's happening down there where Cormac and his companions went.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I think we should probably go.
Mallory, would you like to scout ahead?
A night-shaded version of Mallory pops up, and the real Mallory runs farther ahead. Catch me if you can!
I guess the only other thing we need to decide is, do we need to kill Cormac or do we try to take him alive?
See you down there, everybody!
Not enough information currently. Must observe.
Okay.
Keep going for now.
Yep.
Alright.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys travel down into the temple below. Yeah, it is. It takes, some time. The going is somewhat rough, but you guys are certainly able to climb down the treacherous rocks and fallen debris. All the chargers.
Ah,
Maybe here we can switch.
okay. Here, I can just set my computer.
Just one moment as we take care of some logistical issues. I'll use this moment to go pee real quick. And I'll leave you guys sit here because I don't have a
This break has been sponsored by Bowie Beer.
Thanks.
Sponsored Thursday. I hope we could do a long distance game, but I think would have been real tricky.
I know. Man, between being busy in South Africa and like just it being like the time difference, pretty brutal to do things. Back here, like yeah.
No. But it's gonna smell like my cat. No.
More dog.
No, I was thinking like maybe play something. This ended up being so busy.
Whereabouts were you
So I
specifically?
was in Cape Town.
Oh yeah.
So
Okay.
have you traveled over there at all?
No. I had a friend who did who was a nurse in Mozambique for a little bit.
Nice. I've heard Mozambique's really beautiful.
Yeah. She spoke really, really highly of it, actually.
Yeah, that's everybody from well, the people that I met in Cape Town. They're all just like
Yeah.
like and Namibia, like
Hmm.
there's this like traveling around kind of southern Africa. It's really incredible.
Nice. Yeah, there's parts I hear are gorgeous. I had another friend that was deployed in the Djibouti area, which is not Mozambique.
Yeah.
Very very arid, extremely hot, no wind, desert,
Yeah.
flat land.
Yeah, it's highly recommended.
Nice.
Pretty incredible place.
You're taking upstairs. You walk outside of it?
Yeah, I guess we don't go to the school program. It's pretty much over.
Ooh. How long were you there for?
About 4 months.
Wow.
So, yeah.
There you go. Chew your toy. Atta girl. Okay. Are we all back?
I'm here.
We are.
Excellent. So, with some difficulty, you guys do travel carefully down the debris and rocks and earth, creeping down into the temple below that all of you except for Sara had already, come through from the other way. This is the most southerly point of this immense chamber down here that is in, you can see and quickly put together from what you can see and from what your companions tell you briefly, the center of like a large chamber that has 8 like um, what look to be like rays of sunlight kind of like emanating from a central circular area. At the end of 4 of these, you guys remember that there are some sort of like arcane circles that have, from what you I think were able to deduce, a lot of like conjuration magic associated with them. You would guess these are teleportation circles. There were also a number of like artists like reliefs and like frescoes and stuff like on the walls that hadn't been thoroughly examined before, as your trip through here was a little bit interrupted by the presence of this strange monstrosity, which is still here. There is a writhing mass of flesh and body parts that is like slowly just kind of like an amoeba or something, just like in its entire mass, just like slowly like shifting and oozing itself around inside the like central chamber. It seems to be like a slowly and lazily prowling guard dog almost. But it is again a mass of dozens and dozens of bodies, people that have in some cases willingly volunteered themselves into this mass of flesh. And here you guys are. From this most southerly point, this is not one of those extended like chambers from the central area that holds a teleportation circle. Most of you, aside from Sarah, remember that those are in the other 4, like the other chambers. We had a quick, it's fading, but there is a little bit of a representation there where there's like 4 longer like radiant tunnels, and then 4 that have these like teleportation circle magics kind of going on at their tips. There was also like some engraving stuff like in the floor, but also in the walls of most of these tunnels. The background sort of like thrumming vibration is stronger as you've gotten down here. It's certainly some magical effect that has been activated by Cormac and the presumably his coterie of undead guards.
Is there any indication where this magical thrumming is originating from?
Make a perception check. Right now, it's like coming from you. What you initially felt like was coming through the very like stone and earth, So it feels like now that you're down here, like also like coming from the walls almost. But yeah, give me a perception check if you want to get a more pinpoint.
3.
It's in the fucking walls. Interestingly, no, you don't. Give me a religion check. Natural 1. Yeah, there's what you notice with that is that there are some symbols that you can't quite place in this, like the little bit of like artwork and stuff on the walls that you can see from this in this tunnel right now. That like there is like this symbol that looks like a trident or like a weapon, but it has like five points coming down, like returning to like the central like shaft of this like this weapon. It looks like this looks to you like some corruption or inversion of the 5 divines.
Try to figure out
Coming from all over the place, but there's only one direction for you guys to go from here. You guys still were carrying on some conversation before you began traveling down here. Is there anything else you guys would like to discuss before venturing into a space where you might be overheard by these other people? This is maybe your last chance to do so quietly, or without having to like move away or like make it very obvious that you're like, hey, like we watched you for a minute and now we're gonna go talk again and pull out our weapons. So this may just a little note if you guys want to do anything else before you venture further in.
My suspicion is that Cormac is possessed by something. I feel like he has been cursed by this armor he has doffed. He has put on as he is behaving very oddly, and his zeal is unearthly. So I feel we need to separate him from these items.
Are there any thoughts how we might be able to accomplish this?
If we can get close enough, I can cast heat metal on him. Tried and true strategy called cook and book.
All right, so the goal is to get solidarity to Cormac and see if we can get him out of that armor. And we do so. We're trying to deceive him, correct?
We need him to think that we're along for the ride.
So Rob, what are your skill sets?
Oh well.
Aside from lying, you're great at that.
That kind of gets a little bit I tend to be more of a healer, but I can use my magic for other things as well. Perhaps we can find a way to look for peace. Work towards the perhaps my work towards the good of the five fine can be beneficial to others.
How do you think we shall deal with Torment?
But I don't trust him particularly, and I don't. Your friend's comment sounds potentially accurate. He may be possessed. They make me proceed cautiously, and if these five are going to rest after he's slain, then that's five less bodyguards he has to get to the other side.
Then let's just attack him and try to take him alive.
Wait, what? I mean, I thought we were following. Look at now. It's deceiving. We're so good at deception.
Mm-hmm. So good. I'm rolling really well.
I can try to get us close. I make up stories for a living, so I might have the best chance to get us close enough to him to aid Pointer. Speaking truthfully, it would be of aid to him to get him out of that armor.
So I shall stand in the back and assist as possible.
What do you think, Mallory?
Lori?
Bird, I can do a few words.
Joel, you there? Mhm.
I can't hear him either, so I think we lost him.
Just like real life.
Just
That's our refrain when we were playing on like only online during like COVID and stuff.
It might be bedtime for his kiddos.
Oh, I bet that's it.
I always forget
All right, yeah. I think we assume that Mallory's along for the ride.
For the gods.
Okay.
Yeah, so what's the plan, gang? Anything else you guys want to discuss? I'm not. So it sounds like you guys have come close to a consensus on an idea here.
We're gonna. We've come down to aid Cormac. Wing, and we're going to try to separate him from his armor and his shield. I think that we're willing to interrupt the ritual. Is that kind of the gist of what's going on here? Or are we gonna kind of wait for the ritual to be complete and then strike?
I think we interrupt it. I don't trust him. I don't have a good reason to trust him, but I don't. There's something off about this. There's something really off about this.
As Solidarity says, there's something off about this. There's something really off about this. You guys hear this like, boom, as like the humming, the vibration, the thrumming increases. Another notch up. something has progressed further. Some more energy has been activated. Give me an Arcana check. Anybody who is proficient in it.
Oh my god. I have rolled like 5 natural ones.
Oh my god.
21.
That's good. I just rolled 7.
Yeah, I got 15.
Solidarity,
And-
take an extra 100 experience points for your troubles.
Yeah, D&D Beyond does not like me today.
So what
But
did we get?
I got a 9 though.
21,
We got 21 on deck. I got 15.
15. The energy suffusing this place, GI, there's something about it it's like you can feel this energy kind of like pressing on the like tank that holds the fetus. That is, it's not a good situation. Your fetus body, like it's not great. You can feel this like energy, and you can feel there's this pressure or something. It's something that you have experienced before. It's not necessarily bad, but there's just something about its interaction with your body that is very you always like identify this is radiant energy. Like, and radiant energy, while it's not like damaging or deadly to you, isn't always happy about the fetus in a tank. That there's something weird there. That a radiant energy sometimes does a little sizzle. But you're not being harmed by this, but you feel there is like this thrumming energy that's growing here. You identify as radiant.
There's radiant energy and it's getting stronger. If we wish to act, it is the time now.
How far away is he? Is Cormac?
You don't know where he is. You haven't seen him since you guys have come in here.
We will try to approach him quickly.
Yeah.
Tell him we need to speak.
Is Mallory still out?
Go on.
Am I still out ahead of the group?
You were incommunicado, so they're not entirely sure where you are, but that makes sense to me.
Yes.
Excellent. You are indeed. How far ahead do you want to have ventured?
I think I've established that I like to stay 60 feet ahead of them.
I think that's right.
Were we all just talking to shadow form that entire time?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Echo.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're 60 feet out, I'd say that you would be at like the edge of the end of this tunnel that you're in, or this passage that you're in, before it opens up into the main circular chamber. And from that vantage point, you can see Cormac and his escort down one of the adjacent path to your right. And as this like thrumming has increased in intensity just moments ago, you hear the whispered, as whisper mode is still at least partially engaged. You hear GI identify this as radiant energy that is increasing in this space. And you see that intensify, or you feel that intensify, and after that that's when you've just come up to this corner, or this edge, and you've glanced down and you see Cormac and his entourage moving now, as Cormac stands from the like a kneeling position in the like magical circle that you identified, or like you saw previously at the end of one of these hallways. He stands from that kneeling position and is accompanied by his entourage as they begin walking back towards this central chamber closer to you.
Oh shit, they're headed my way. I pop back into my echo and say, they're walking back.
Exactly where we want them.
All right, let's go. Yeah, if we can, we need to separate him from the entourage. It seems like maybe Solidarity and I can try to deal with Cormac directly, if the group can keep the undead separated from Cormac, I think we might be able to do this, but we'll have to move quickly.
Permanent.
All right. You get this report back from Mallory, and you guys settle on a plan. It seems like you settle on a plan of action. You then are you guys like just running forward? You still like going, hoping to come forward with some deception
Yeah,
forward? Like, what do you
I
guys
think
want to do?
so. We're moving quickly,
Okay.
but our goal is to try to deceive Cormac to get as close to him as possible.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, you guys trot down this this like basically like this like expanding hallway towards the central circular area that you believe Cormac is approaching. And indeed, as you get closer, you can hear the footsteps of Cormac and his entourage. Stepping through the stone floor of this space. It echoes. They come into view as you guys are nearby. You guys come into the same space, or maybe like 20, 25 feet away from them, kind of like coming into this central circular area at the same time. Cormac sees you all, having heard your approach beforehand, unless you guys were trying to be, it didn't seem like you're trying to be particularly stealthy. So yeah, he hears you guys approach and sees you, and looks at you all, like they all like stop where they are in their movement. He looks to you all and he says, What's your decision? Are you here to help me bring an end to the suffering once and for all?
Cormac, your alignment is concerning to us, but we are here to aid you.
Good. Come with me. I'm sure your prayers will only speed the process. He begins walking. Well, actually, give me a deception check first, of course.
19.
Oh, thank
I
God.
don't have to recount anything or recant anything. He says, "Good. Come along. I'm sure your prayers will only aid in the process and accelerate this. Come." And he begins walking like across to the other one over here. Actually, probably this one right here. So he goes down and
The west one?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah. And from this one, he comes in, sees you guys, and then like goes over to this one. Yeah.
Cool. I sent a picture to Joel and
Yeah, if it's
Jared.
visible, it's like
Yeah.
faint and fading ink. He continues on. You can see that the five of his entourage are kind of like just kind of like walking around him in a circle at this point. And they are definitely paying attention to you all. Regardless, they are not necessarily trusting you or not. They just seem to be following like their own like demands of their, and that is seemingly protect Cormac against anything that would prevent him from doing his stuff. That's what it seems at this point, at least. And he continues walking down there, and he says, I'm heartened to have you. I admit this company is not my preferred. If any of you wish to join me on the other side of this portal, I would appreciate that as well.
How did you know to use this portal? So,
The gods themselves given me some insight.
How much longer until we can go to Lumos with you?
Although we're not going directly to Loomis. We must first bind the necrarchs. We'll be going to them first. And then once we have bound them to a singular purpose, we'll bring them to Loomis, destroy the darkness that lives and rules at that place, and do there not dissimilar what we have begun to do here. activate sublime radiance and let it wash over the world. He says, "Come, pray with me." And he goes forth and begins to go to the far end of this one, approaching the circle there, and kneels in the center of it.
Okay.
And that's not the one that he was in before.
Correct. You guys saw him come from this place, and then went out to this one. So, from what you felt and like the increase in like energy flowing in this place, you would guess this is the third thing he's done here. This will be the third. The chair's
What's
the
that?
answer.
How many chairs are in this room? Where Johan's kind of trying to get a lay of the land. While he is kneeling and praying, where exactly is that entourage?
They, you actually see them. They continue kind of like their formation around Cormac, but you see them break around the like the teleportation circle thing, and they like go around it to like they don't step through it or into it, but they end up like as he moves into the center of it, they are kind of like still flanking him in like this like five kind of like a pentagram sort of shape. Um, if you drew the lines, but like they're just around him, taking careful. So that's with the like 8-9ish sort of foot diameter of this teleportation circle thing. They're just beyond that, so they're like 10-12 feet.
And where are we?
That's up to you. I haven't heard anybody say that you guys have kind of said that you're following, but you haven't said anything beyond that. So yeah, you guys can set yourselves up. They are not. Cormac's entourage is not preventing your movement in any way at this time. So you can move wherever you wish. And in fact, Cormac's invited you to like pray in the circle with him.
I know.
I
What do you, GI and Mallory, I know you're not terribly religious, but Solidarity, would you like to please join me in a prayer with Cormac to aid in this ritual?
yeah. Solidarity. I will step into the circle, and I'll kneel beside Cormac, and Helmet will accompany me, and I will cast heat metal on Cormac's armor.
Just to be really clear, I'm also right on the other side of Cormac.
They're like kind of flanking him in the circle. Okay. Okay.
Sarah's actually back, or Sarah.
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 Sarah is kind of towards the center of the shape. Trying to see if she can tell anything about the 4 different points, if there's like a significant stage of them or anything like that. She's just a little oblivious to the immediacy of the plan.
Yeah. Yeah. Why don't you give me a religion check or a history check? You can do it with advantage because what you've already learned is going to provide a lot of context for what you're seeing here. Okay, 15. What you are seeing is you're like going to the central area of the like primary circle here. You kind of like have a chance to look down and at least get like a impression of the what is rendered down each of these like tunnels. And you see that the 4 with the teleportation circles at the ends of them, each of those has a distinct sort of depiction, a depiction of a place. It seems there is down the one that Cormac just came from, there is a this like rendering of this like ice and snow swept like barren landscape, and there is a like chasm in the earth that has like above it, just like there's like this rendering of this like great chasm that's like rent through this like ice scape, and above that is this like tremendous like storm cloud with bolts of lightning just like blasting into it. It seems to be like a specific, like that's what you see just like in these few moments there. um Glancing down as you like kind of like just take in everything, like this one over here, which you think is the one that hasn't Cormac hasn't reached yet. There is a stark like mountainscape with what looks to be like uh immense like mountainscape with just like looks northerly and like dark, like everything in that one's like this whole like color scheme of this one is much darker. It looks just like this like immensely like rugged mountain area, but upon the top of it is a what looks to be um like a crown on one of these mountains that looks to be certainly some sort of like like man-made like fortification or structure or something. And it looks, like glancing on from that one, it looks like each of these is depicting a different location. And that's what you're able to learn in this time so far. As you guys begin to sit next to Cormac, there's a time where like Cormac is he's like whispering these like prayers under his breath. What languages do you and Solidarity speak?
I speak Dwarvish and Elvish and Common, of course.
I speak Dwarvish and Infernal.
Language you do not recognize is being spoken by Cormac, and you can hear a few things, like he like speaks in some language you don't hear, and then he says, um, by the gods of life and light, I beseech you, open the path that your will may be done. And he like looks up and he kind of frowns. He like looks at to either side of him as Solidarity is finishing up this spell that Solidarity is speaking under her breath, or evoking under his breath. Looks over to each of you and says, "Hmm, you are not pure of intent." And in that moment, his armor begins to glow red hot, and he like screams out in pain. You see the five guards of Cormac turn on the two of you inside this circle, draw their weapons, and come to attack. And all this is happening at the same time as in the center of this space, Sarah, one thing that we haven't really spoken about, despite being the horrific assemblage of dozens and dozens of bodies in the room, this thing becomes active, writhing and like slamming itself against the walls as it understands that something has been done here. And in this moment of betrayal of Cormac, I think it's the appropriate time to wrap this session up. Why don't you guys roll initiative for me right now, and we'll start this off next time.
Mark, that's a terrible idea. I rolled an 18.
My first roll above a 10. 15.
Scott, you gotta roll it or re-roll it.
Four. So that's what's the difference. Actually, that's a 6.
Six.
16.
I with a 9. Johan, there we go. Johan with what was it, 16?
16.
16. And I'm missing Mallory.
18.
Mallory with an 18. Fantastic.
Now, ugh.
We'll begin next time with the interruption of good Cormac's sacred ritual that definitely doesn't have any bad things associated with it. Yeah, see what happens next. And yeah, it sounds like you guys are still trying to interrupt the ritual and maybe take Cormac alive,
That poor guy's
if possible.
He's taking some fire damage.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's gonna be taking a lot of fire damage.
Yeah. How much? What level did you cast that at, Mallory? Or not Mallory, but Solidarity. And how much will that do?
It's 2d8 fire damage per turn.
Nice.
I only have second level, so yeah. Yeah, it's a
Cooking
second
book.
level. It's at the base level.
Try to get us out of this one, Bud.
It's like a full minute to like remove your armor too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's it might be enchanted for the quick doffing or whatever it is, but maybe not.
It could be an art.
Yeah.
Now, Mark, remind me of lore. We don't want the 4 Necrarchs to go to Lumos, right? Like,
We know.
I'm pretty sure I remember that the Vampire Supreme Lord is there, and they don't want to wake them up. And this is bad.
That's meta, and I will not engage in that.
Alright, fine.
Yeah, you guys have learned some things about Loomis and what's going on there, and with your other characters. Oh, Pesha, still haven't finished your stick.
We can talk about
I
it
will
later.
say-
It's fine.
I will say it seems like a hard sell to make, hey, we have 4 undead, like, powerful lords, and we want to bring them to a place to do some good things. Like, it's a hard sell. I'll definitely say that.
Cool. I don't like it.
God damn it.
I won't, I am definitely not weighing on either side of the subject here, but I will say it doesn't sound great. Like, even if this is a good thing, like, it's yeah, it would be yeah. And some guy's like, hey, I'm here to do some good. Don't mind the enormous flesh amalgamation in the background.
I so wanted to trust Cormac.
It's not too late.
Alright.
You're like, no, go ahead. Let's do it. Sorry, I'll just take that spell back.
Alright, everybody. I'm gonna go lay down more than I'm already
Okay.
laying down. Good night.
Feel better.
Good night.
Yeah.
Feel better, dude. All right. Bye, everybody.